NanoBioCar project is a EU-funded research project which investigates the impact of two types of nanoparticles on the functioning of coastal systems. So we've chosen for this project silver nanoparticles, which are currently the one used in the wider range of consumer products, and titanium oxide nanoparticles, which are currently the most produced nanoparticles. They are used in paints and other construction products and also in sunscreens.
So what we've done in this project is a number of laboratory-based mesocosm experiments running over 3 different seasons of the year. We've worked in the spring, in the summer and in the winter. And we've taken natural sediments from the field and brought that into laboratory systems. These laboratory systems are open to natural daylight and rainfall and temperature. They've been outside. They're tidal tank systems. And we've monitored them with different dosing of different nanoparticles to simulate natural current levels and potential future levels over a period of 1 month. And that gives us time to see both the immediate short-term effects of a toxic impact, things suffering very, very quickly, but also a more chronic effect over a month's period of time. We've measured a number of parameters that relate to biomass and also a set of measurements that give us ecosystem processes.
What we found is that titanium oxide nanoparticle impact both microorganisms' biomass and the functioning of coastal system. We have found that titanium oxide nanoparticle can reduce the biomass of microalgae living on the sediments. We've also found that they reduce the ability of microorganisms to stabilize the mudflat. So that means that it reduces the ability of microorganisms to protect our coast from erosion. We've also shown that titanium oxide nanoparticles are altering the recycling of nutrients.
We have found that season plays an important differentiator in how nanoparticles affect biofilms. And that's really interesting actually, because it's what we need to know if we're really going to measure how nanoparticles and other things affect natural processes and move away from just a single experiment one time of the year and then thinking that we've resolved it.
All results together show that in the current state of production of both type of nanoparticles, titanium oxide nanoparticles are actually a bigger threat to the functioning of ecosystem compared to silver nanoparticles.
So the final test for all this type of work is to think what actually will happen in the field in a natural condition. We can do laboratory experiments and they're as close as we can get under a controlled situation, and that scientifically is very robust and a standard approach. But ultimately you want to say what is the impact of nanoparticles in ecosystems over long periods of time. So we have done an experiment out in the field where we've dosed very low levels repeatedly of a mixture of nanoparticles into some natural systems and then monitor them on a very regular basis to see what effects at that level at a natural system subject to flooding and tides and rain and all the other normal processes, what effect nanoparticles might have. And perhaps it's not surprising, but the very low doses we've used, we haven't found anything dramatic, but it does look like there's a shift in the species composition over time. And that might seem like a small thing, but over a long period of time, if you imagine this happening over 3, 5, 7, 10 years, then small shifts in species over time could fundamentally change the nature of those communities. And that's, I think, that's the elephant in the room around long-term toxicity tests and the impact of pollutants on the environment. We need these long-term studies as well as the short-term acute studies. And I think our work's given us our first glimpse into the potential there for impacts that you wouldn't see in a more standard approach. So it was a lot of work to do that, a lot of hard work actually, but I'm really pleased we did, because I think that gives us a glimpse as to where we need to go next, which is taking this sort of work directly out into the field.